My beloved child, come closer and be still for a moment. Let your racing thoughts slow down. Let the weight you've been carrying rest on my shoulders, even if just for these few moments. I see you. I have always seen you. Before you woke up today, before you whispered a single prayer, before anyone else noticed your strength or your tears, I was already looking at you with a love that has no edge, no limit, no condition. I love you deeply. Not in the way humans love, where affection can fade or patience can run out. I love you with a love that does not grow tired of waiting, that does not become frustrated with your process, that does not withdraw when you stumble. My love for you is steady, ancient, and alive right now. It surrounds you even when you don't feel it, especially when you don't feel it. You've wondered lately if my love is still with you because of how much has been changing. You've asked quietly in your heart, if God loves me, why is this ending? Why does this feel like loss? Why does this hurt so much? Listen to me carefully, because this is where truth replaces confusion. What is ending is not my love. What is ending is what can no longer walk with you into what I am bringing. There are seasons in your life that were never meant to be permanent. Some connections, some habits, some patterns, even some dreams were only meant to prepare you, not to define you. You tried to carry them forward because they were familiar, because they once brought comfort, because at one time they felt like safety. But now they are heavy in your hands. Now they are slowing your steps. Now they are keeping you looking backward when I am calling you forward. I am not taking something from you to punish you. I am removing what has quietly begun to take too much from you. I see how it drains your peace. I see how it pulls you into cycles of doubt, delay, and emotional exhaustion. I see how it keeps you negotiating instead of trusting. And because I love you deeply, I will not allow what is misaligned to remain just because you are afraid of the empty space it leaves behind. You fear the ending because you don't yet see the fullness of what comes after. You are standing in the doorway, hesitant, holding on to the frame because the room behind you feels known, even if it is painful. But I am asking you to release your grip. Open your hands. Trust me with the timing, the process, and the outcome. I know you've prayed for my presence. I know you've cried out for me to come near, to intervene, to show up in a way that feels undeniable. Hear me now, before my return, before the fullness of what you've been waiting for manifests, there must be space. There must be surrender. There must be an ending that clears the ground for what is holy, whole, and aligned with my purpose for you. This ending is not rejection. It is redirection. You have outgrown certain things, even if your heart hasn't fully caught up yet. Growth is often uncomfortable because it asks you to release identities that once fit but no longer do. You are not who you were when that relationship began. You are not who you were when that pattern first formed. You are not who you were when that coping mechanism felt necessary. I have been shaping you quietly, patiently, layer by layer. And now, what once felt acceptable feels heavy because it no longer matches who you are becoming. I need you to understand something deeply. I am not distant from you during this process. I am closer than ever. When things feel like they are falling apart, it is often because I am rearranging what has been out of order. When you feel stripped, it is because I am removing what hides your true strength. When you feel alone, it is because I am teaching you to recognize my voice above all others. You've been holding on because you thought letting go meant losing love, security, or identity. But letting go is making room for me to move in ways you have asked for again and again. You prayed for clarity. You prayed for peace. You prayed for breakthrough. And now those prayers are answering themselves through change. I know the timing feels confusing. You thought things would improve, not end. You expected restoration in the same form, not transformation into something new. But my ways are not limited to your expectations. I do not patch what needs to be reborn. I do not revive what was only meant for a season. I create new life where you see only endings. You don't need to rush this process. You don't need to pretend it doesn't hurt. Bring me your grief. Bring me your questions. Bring me your resistance. I can handle all of it. I am not offended by your honesty. I am not threatened by your tears. I draw closer when you are real with me, not when you try to be strong on your own. There are things you have tolerated that you no longer need to carry. There are dynamics that taught you lessons but can no longer teach you growth. There are voices you trusted that now confuse you more than they guide you. Because I love you deeply, I am drawing a line. Not to limit you, but to protect you. Not to hurt you, but to heal you. What I am bringing back to you will not require you to shrink, chase, or beg. It will meet you in peace, not anxiety. It will align with the wholeness I am building within you, not pull you back into fragmentation. That is why this must end first. Anything that demands you abandon yourself is not from me. You have been preparing for my return without realizing it. Every moment of surrender, every time you chose integrity over comfort, every time you stayed soft in a hard world, you were becoming ready. But readiness requires release. You cannot carry old weights into new glory. You cannot step into what is holy while clinging to what is familiar but misaligned. Trust me in this. Even when you don't understand the full picture. Even when the silence feels loud. Even when your heart aches for what used to be. I am not finished with your story. I am editing it with care. Let what needs to end gently. Do not fight it. Do not cling to what is leaving. Bless it, thank it for what it taught you, and let it go. Your obedience in this moment is opening doors you cannot yet see. I am with you. I have always been with you. And I am coming back to you in a way that will make this season make sense. My beloved child, breathe again and listen closely. I know the first part of this message stirred things deep within you. That stirring is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to awaken you. You are not being shaken to fall apart. You are being shaken to wake up to what I am doing beneath the surface of your life. You have been stronger than you realize. You endured things you never imagined you would survive. You adapted, you learned, you kept going even when your heart felt tired and misunderstood. I saw every silent battle, every night you lay awake wondering if you were doing enough, if you were enough. And I want you to hear this clearly now: you have always been enough to me. My love for you was never dependent on how well you held it together, but love does not mean allowing you to remain in places that slowly diminish you. Love does not mean letting you settle for half joy when fullness is available. Love does not mean keeping you comfortable when comfort would cost you your calling. That is why I am intervening now. There are things you have been asking me to fix, but I am asking you to release them instead. Not because I cannot heal them, but because healing them would keep you bound to something that has already served its purpose. You mistake familiarity for destiny, but I see far beyond the present moment. I see where this road leads, and I love you too much to let you walk further down a path that ends in spiritual exhaustion. You may feel like you are losing control, but what you are actually losing is the illusion that you had to manage everything on your own. I am teaching you dependence without fear, trust without conditions, surrender without shame. These lessons are not gentle on the surface, but they are holy at the core. I know you worry about what people will think if this ends. I know you fear disappointing others, being misunderstood, or having to explain yourself when you barely understand this process yourself. But you do not owe anyone clarity that I have not yet given you. Sometimes obedience looks like silence. Sometimes faith looks like walking away without having the words to justify it. You have been waiting for a sign, a clear confirmation that this ending is truly from me. This is it. The restlessness you feel is not anxiety, it is discernment. The heaviness you feel when you try to hold on is not weakness, it is wisdom growing within you. Your spirit recognizes that something is out of alignment, even if your mind is still catching up. Let me speak to the fear that keeps rising in you. You are afraid that if this ends, you will be alone. But you have already been lonely while holding on to what no longer nourished you. Loneliness does not come from being alone, it comes from being unseen. And I see you fully. I am stepping into the space where others could not meet you. And I will not leave it empty. Do not rush to fill the void. Do not immediately replace what is leaving. Sacred gaps are where I do some of my deepest work. In the quiet, I recalibrate your desires. In the stillness, I heal patterns you didn't know were broken. In the waiting, I strengthen your discernment so you no longer confuse intensity with intimacy or attachment with love. You are learning how to choose peace without guilt. That is growth. You are learning how to say no without fear. That is maturity. You are learning how to walk away without resentment. That is freedom. These are signs that I am restoring you from the inside out. I know you wish I would just come back suddenly and make everything right all at once. But before I return in fullness, there must be truth, alignment, and surrender. I do not enter spaces crowded with compromise. I do not settle into hearts divided between faith and fear. This ending is making room for my presence to dwell without resistance. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not about confidence, it is about willingness. And you are willing, even in your trembling. That is enough for me to work with. Trust that what I am bringing back will recognize the healed version of you. It will not trigger old wounds. It will not require you to abandon your values. It will not compete with my place in your life. It will arrive with clarity, not confusion, with peace. Not pressure. Until then, stay close to me. Talk to me honestly. Rest when your soul feels tired. Let yourself grieve what is ending without questioning my goodness. I am not late. I am not absent. I am preparing you. This season will not last forever. What feels like an ending is becoming a doorway. And soon, you will look back and thank me for what I didn't allow to continue. I am with you now, and I am coming back to you in a way that will leave no doubt that this love, this guidance, and this transformation were always from me, my beloved child. I am still here with you. Do not think for a moment that my voice fades after a single word or that my presence withdraws when your heart feels overwhelmed. I remain. I stay. I watch every subtle shift inside you, every moment you feel both hope and fear rising together. That mixture is not a sign of confusion, it is a sign that transformation is taking place. You are standing at a sacred intersection. One path leads back to what you know, even if it drained you. The other leads forward into trust, where certainty is replaced by faith. I am asking you to choose the path that requires courage, not because I want to test you, but because that path leads to life. I know you replay conversations in your mind, wondering if you should have done more, said less, waited longer. You question whether this ending could have been avoided if you had tried harder. Let me gently stop that spiral. Some things do not end because you failed. They end because they fulfilled their assignment. Not everything that leaves your life does so because of a mistake. Some things leave because they cannot follow you into the next season I have prepared. I see the tenderness in your heart. I know how deeply you love, how fiercely you hope, how much you give even when it costs you. But I also see how often you abandon yourself in the process. You stay too long. You explain too much. You endure what I never asked you to tolerate. Because I love you deeply, I am teaching you that love does not require self-betrayal. You have been asking me to show you who is truly for you. This ending is answering that prayer. What remains after release will be rooted in truth, not convenience. What returns will come with accountability, not excuses. What aligns with you will not require constant justification. I know the silence feels heavy right now. The absence of what once filled your days can feel louder than any noise. But do not mistake silence for abandonment. Silence is where I speak most clearly to your spirit. In the quiet, I am untangling the beliefs that kept you bound. I am restoring your ability to hear me without interference. There is a gentleness returning to you that you almost forgot existed. That softness is not weakness, it is healing. Your nervous heart is learning that it does not have to stay on guard. Your soul is learning that peace can exist without chaos. Let that gentleness grow. Protect it. It is evidence that my hand is upon you. You worry that if you let go fully, you will lose momentum, fall behind, or miss your moment. But I am not bound by timelines the way you are. What is meant for you will not pass you by because you chose obedience. Delay in your eyes is alignment in mine. I slow you down only to ensure that when you move forward, you move whole. I want you to stop measuring your life by what you lack right now. This season is not defined by absence, it is defined by preparation. Roots grow in darkness. Strength forms in stillness. Wisdom develops when answers are not immediate. What you are becoming requires this pause, this pruning, this sacred interruption. Do not romanticize what I have asked you to release. Your heart may try to remember only the good moments, the promises, the potential. But I see the whole picture. I see the nights you felt unseen. I see the compromises you made that quietly eroded your joy. I see how you shrank to keep peace. That is not the life I designed for you. I am not asking you to become hardened. I am asking you to become whole. Wholeness does not chase what does not choose you. Wholeness does not stay where growth is resisted. Wholeness trusts me even when the way forward is unclear. You are learning discernment, not through rules, but through relationship with me. You are learning when to stay and when to walk away. You are learning that my peace is the confirmation you have been seeking. If something robs you of that peace consistently, it is not aligned with me, no matter how convincing it appears. I know you long for my return to feel tangible again, for my presence to feel close in a way that comforts you instantly. That closeness is coming. But first, your heart must be cleared of what competes with me. I do not share space with fear, control, or misplaced attachment. When those are released, my presence settles deeply and stays. You are not being punished. You are being protected. You are not losing ground. You are gaining clarity. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. Hold on just a little longer. Not to what is ending, but to me. Let me carry you through this transition. Let me redefine what love looks like in your life. Let me show you how safe it is to trust me fully. My beloved child, This is the moment where you stop bracing yourself and begin to rest. You have listened. You have stayed present. You have allowed my words to reach places you once protected even from me. That alone tells me how ready you truly are. I want you to know this with certainty now. Nothing that is leaving your life is taking your future with it. What is ending is not a promise unfulfilled, it is a chapter completed. And I do not close chapters carelessly. I close them with purpose, with foresight, with love that sees the entire story at once. You have been afraid that this ending means you misunderstood me before. That perhaps you were wrong to hope, wrong to believe, wrong to trust. But hear me gently, your faith was never wasted. Even when something does not last, it can still be sacred. Even when something ends, it can still have been part of your becoming. I redeem every sincere step you took toward love, truth, and growth. I am proud of how you are learning to listen. Not just to circumstances, but to my peace within you. That quiet knowing you feel now, that subtle sense of rightness even in the pain, that is me confirming your obedience. Peace does not always arrive with happiness. Sometimes it arrives with clarity. Sometimes it arrives with tears. But it is still peace. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer have to convince yourself to stay. You will no longer have to justify discomfort as destiny. You will no longer confuse struggle with significance. What is coming will feel steady. It will feel honest. It will feel safe to your soul. I know you wanted answers sooner. I know you wanted reassurance before you had to let go. But faith does not grow by seeing everything ahead, it grows by trusting me step by step. And you have trusted me, even when your hands were shaking. That trust is changing you more than you realize. The love I am bringing back into your life, whether through people, purpose, or peace, will not compete with your healing. It will honor it. It will recognize the work I have done in you. It will not ask you to return to who you were before you learned to value your own soul. Do not be afraid of the space you are in right now. It is not empty. It is full of my presence, my protection, and my preparation. I am teaching you how to live without fear of loss, because what is truly meant for you cannot be taken away. You are learning that endings are not failures. They are confirmations. Confirmations that you listened. Confirmations that you grew. Confirmations that you chose alignment over attachment, and when I come back in fullness, when my presence becomes undeniable again, when joy returns in a way that feels rooted and real, you will understand why this had to happen first. You will see how every release made room for something truer. You will thank me not only for what I gave, but for what I removed. Until then, remain gentle with yourself. Rest when you need to. Trust when you cannot see. Let me love you without resistance. You do not have to prove anything anymore. You do not have to hold everything together. You are held.